Hey everyone, this is a 2008 Chevy Impala. Has a 3.5 liter V6 engine on it. I wanted to make a quick video on how to just kind of self-diagnose, and this is for any vehicle really though, how you could tell just from home a possibility, first personal diagnosis on if you might have a blown head gasket or some blown gasket. So you can see it here. You're going to have a gasket in between your intake manifold and the lower intake manifold. These are the valve cover gaskets that you're going to have in between the valve covers right here and the lower intake manifold. And then you're going to have obviously the head gasket itself, which would have blown. That's so far down in the engine, and it's really hard to tell if you actually have a blown head gasket. What you can do on your own, first thing, just take off the oil cap, and in mine it just connects to this cover, and just inspect it. So, oh, never mind, it came out. So that is the filler neck. The actual cap itself looks pretty dirty, but what you're gonna see is a milky color. If you have a blown head gasket, good chance is that you are having fuel and coolant and oil all mixing together. So you might open your oil cap and see a very milky substance, or just like color, kind of looks like a milkshake. It would be on your oil cap if you have coolant in there. Another good thing to check, which I believe I may have a head gasket leak, and this isn't even quite at 100,000 miles, so it's kind of unfortunate. Not quite sure if you guys can see down there. I wish I had a rag with me to show you. Very brown. My coolant is very brown. I just changed it about a couple 100 miles ago, and it may be at the right fluid level, but when I stick a rag or a paper towel down there, it doesn't come up as orange, it comes up as brown. So I know that I'm having some oil mixed with my coolant, so it's not going to be at milky color, but definitely causes like engine performance issues. And so another thing you're going to notice, and I had this with a older car that had the same issue. I've had two blown head gaskets in two cars. So especially I noticed it in the winter when everyone else was starting their car and it warmed up. They stopped having anything noticeable come out the back of the tailpipe when it was cold, and I had constant white smoke. So that is a very good sign that you are burning coolant. And if you could go down by the tailpipe and you smell, you may even smell a sweet smell. That's what coolant will smell like. So if you have those, a combination of them, good chance that you may have a blown head gasket. And another thing that I did to be able to diagnose easily on both of my vehicles is a very inexpensive, between $20 and $50 depending on where you get it. There's a test kit, and I don't have it with me, but if you want to look it up, you can, and I may even link it in the description below. But it is a purple test fluid that you pour into a little cylinder. What you're going to do is with the car running, you're going to stick it into wherever your coolant is. If you don't have a coolant filler up here with the, like where the radiator is, if you don't have a radiator cap, like on this Impala, it's just right here. So it's like, I would just stick it in right there where I put the coolant in. My other vehicle, Pontiac G6, it was just the overflow tank. That's the only place you could add coolant. So if that's the only place you have, you stick it in, stick straight up about this high. You pour the purple fluid in up to a designated line. You just let your car idle for a bit, and that fluid, that purple fluid, is going to automatically turn yellow if you have a head gasket leak. I should say, if you have emission gases that are burning in the combustion chamber, if those are leaking into the coolant, it's going to detect those just by the smell of it, and that it's going to turn yellow pretty quickly. So I would rev your engine a few times, give it gas, see if that works. If you want to prove it to yourself, just make sure it works. go ahead and, with the car running, take it to the back tailpipe and just hold the tube in front of the tailpipe for a little bit, and you'll see it immediately turn yellow, just to prove that it works. But that is a simple test that you can do if you're not quite sure if you have one. But those are all great tips, first things to look for before you go and take it to a mechanic and have him tell you, oh yeah, it's shot, because then you're going to be spending thousands of dollars. So hopefully that's helpful to someone. If you have any questions, please drop them down in the comments below, and I'll get back to you.